Hi, I'm DIY Jeff, and today I'm going to show you some time-saving tips on how to replace the shocks on a 2006 Ford Mustang.
DIY Jeff, a place to find helpful how-tos and honest reviews. To demonstrate, I'll be replacing the driver's side rear strut. If you'll be using an impact gun, you can start by jacking up the vehicle, but if you're not using an impact gun, be sure to loosen the lug nuts first. Then be sure to only jack up the vehicle by placing a jack under the framework. Once the tire is off the ground, support the vehicle with a jack stand under the frame. Then slowly lower the jack until the vehicle is fully supported by the stand. Then you can remove the lug nuts. Once loose, take off the tire and set it aside. I've seen numerous videos showing releasing the strut from underneath first, but I found releasing it from inside the trunk first works best. Pull back the carpet to expose the mounting nut. If the strut in your Mustang's like mine and it's original, then it's a 15mm nut. If it's an aftermarket, you'll have to check for the correct socket size. You'll either need a deep socket or a wrench. You can see where the shock goes up into the trunk by tracing it up under the wheel well. Some videos show you have to remove the caliper and rotor for this next step, but I didn't find it necessary. If you have a V6 Mustang, then you most likely don't have the stabilizer bar, but V8s do have one. Mine is a V6 Mustang, but happens to have an upgraded suspension of a V8. If by chance you do need to move the stabilizer bar, then remove the nut on the top of the stabilizer bar link on both sides of the vehicle and it will swing down and out of the way. Use a 15mm socket on the lower shock mount, and as you can see, I'm able to access it without removing the stabilizer bar. Wiggle the shock free from the lower housing and then pull straight down on it and it will pop out. I'm replacing the stock shock with a KYB gas adjust shock that is supposed to have 25% more dampening than the stock one. It's part number 554355, and I'll put a link in the description if you're interested where you can find it. When replacing an old part, it's always a good idea to do a side-by-side comparison with the new part just to make sure it's the correct one. The shock should come compressed, so cut the strap and release the tension. You'll probably have to pull on the shock to get it to release. Compare the main components for any differences. One major difference that I noticed on the new strut is that it does not have rubber bushings at the bottom. You'll see though once it's installed, it doesn't need the bushings. The new strut should come with new bushings for the upper mount. Take the one with the pointed end and push it in from the bottom side under the wheel well. You'll probably have to wrestle with it a little bit to get it to go flush. Insert the shock absorber mounting plate over the top stud of the shock so that it cups the rubber bushing. Push it all the way up and wrestle it into place so that the stud protrudes through enough inside the trunk to put the other bushing and mounting plate on and still be able to thread on the nut. After tightening the nut by hand first, you'll need 2 wrenches to finish tightening it. A 5/16 wrench to hold the strut rod in place and keep it from spinning, and then whatever size the new replacement nut is, which mine happens to be a 3/4 inch, use the second wrench to tighten the nut to 30 foot-pounds and do the best you can with the wrenches. At this point, you're done in the trunk, so you can put the carpet back into place. Now line up the bottom of the shock with the bracket. Wiggling it into place, you'll see that you won't be able to line it up vertically, but you will be able to line it up horizontally. The bracket will need to be raised up in order to line up the holes, and you can do so by using a jack underneath it. Push the bolt through from the back side. You may have to slightly raise or lower the jack to push it all the way through. Then put the retaining nut on, and if you have an impact gun, tighten it down as far as it will go. Then use a torque wrench to tighten it to 85 foot-pounds. Almost done. Put the tire back on and hand tighten the lug nuts to make sure they won't cross thread when you tighten them with the wrench. Go ahead and snug them up before you lower the vehicle. Jack up the vehicle now so you can remove the jack stand. Lower the vehicle. And the last step is to torque the lug nuts to 89 foot-pounds. Make sure to do so in a crisscross pattern. That's it. That's all there is to it.
I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time I upload a new video.
DIY Jeff, a YouTube channel where I'm not gonna lie to you.